G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here. In today's video, we will be going over getting the VL ready for roadworthy, which means fixing every Commodore's worst nightmare, and that's one tail light not working because they have really crappy wiring. So I've got to do that, make sure the rear washers work, number plate lights work, put the wipers on, got carpet mats, got to make sure the horn works, so I've got to actually reinstall it. But we're going to be working on this guy today, and if you are only here because of the VL, consider subscribing because I build heaps of other stuff too. I've got an early model BMW getting done soon. I've done the whole build and install on this 2.4 litre turbo, swapped out the 1.6, heaps and heaps of stuff on the channel, growing, learning, doing more and more stuff every day. So stick around, we'll get stuck into making this roadworthy. Might even upgrade the brakes in this episode, might even lower it a bit more as well. So stick around and we'll see where we get to. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. As mentioned, we got to try and get this bad boy up and ready for roadworthy. And the goal is to do it all legit and properly to make this a fully functioning, working, nice, perfect little car to drive that's all back to brand new. Now, you'll see here, there's a bit of a crap connection in the lights. They're not working all the time. They are, again, nearly 40 years old. Now, the connectors are all tight, but I might just pull those apart and put different connectors on there so they're tighter, and make sure that this joint is better, because it seems to be when you wiggle the lights, that's when they want to work. And there's some questionable tow bar wiring here, a big chunk of wires that have been stick together and sticky taped. We'll fill up that, or we'll test that out, make sure that motor works, fill it up, put that back in, spare tire back in, clean up the Venetians, chuck those guys in, and I'm going to take off these trims here because, as you can see, they're broken. What I was thinking is I'll cut this along here nice and straight, and I'll change these out to riv nuts, nut certs, and I'll put some nice hardware in there. And then for this side, what I'll do is I'll take these off and trace them out onto another board, and probably just cut that along there straight, and then wrap them in vinyl, I think, because I'm assuming underneath here is all perfect brand new paint because it hasn't been scratched, scuffed, or left out in the sun, so that should be nice. Now, I do have floor mats for the back and floor mats for in the front, but staring at this and thinking, if I'm going to go to the effort of vinyl wrapping and custom making these panels again, what I might do also is get some cream paint like this and repaint the back of the seats, and then repaint this section here in cream, and I'll mask it all off and take these rubbers out again and get that all painted so it matches the interior. I know it's not how it was from the factory, but I don't want to go with metallic and 2-pack and all that sort of stuff here. I'll just paint the insides of there to match the rest of the interior. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm not going to be doing that this episode, so yeah, let me know if you think that's a good idea or a bad idea. But anyway, I've got my work cut out for me, so I'm going to mess around with these, bring you back in a moment and show you what we're doing. At the moment, I've got one tail light on, the other one's not on. Now, all the wires are connected, but I think that's to do with the wiring beehive that's under there, hornet's nest of wires. So yeah, I'll fiddle around with that as well. Okay, so after 2 minutes work and undoing one wire, my worst nightmare was confirmed. Check this out. I'll try and bring some light down here, but this, can you guys see that? That is how the wires were. So I actually just grabbed one of the spare wires that was hanging around. It was a brown one. Those are brown ones. Pulled the tape off. I decided, hey, let's see what happens when I wrap this loose brown wire around the other brown wires. And hey, we now have a working tail light, we've solved one of life's many, many mysteries of the Holden tail light globe out. You don't lick and stick wires. So I'm gonna fix that up now real quick. I'll probably add in a little bit of extra length and some better wire, just so I can have a bit of room to play with and solder it all up. So get out the soldering iron and get practicing. We don't want those coming undone again, and I definitely don't want to be missing roadworthy because of something dumb like that. So I've fixed the tail lights and the number plate lights, and I've also gone ahead and taken out the trims in the back, you can see just over there. But I want to get your opinion. Nice clear glass, no Venetian, or nice clear glass with Venetian? What do you guys reckon? Do you reckon keep that in there? I've got the full set. These actually came with the car. My intent was always to use them. What do you reckon? I think it's pretty cool. But at the same time, nice clear glass. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now over into the interior. So I've taken out those pieces that run along there, and you can see that it's nice and clean. The paint's all pretty good, and that's on both sides. Pretty good, pretty brand new paint. It's never been exposed to any elements. And what I was going to do is take these pieces, lay them over on some brand new MDF or whatever you call this stuff, plywood, chipboard crap, and then just trace it out, but square that off up the top along here, all the way along straight, and so that just finishes just underneath that. And then with this piece, the corner piece, bring this out straight across to about here somewhere and just flatten that down. Clean these up because they're pretty good, and then stick them back where they go in the corners, because we have this curved piece here, and we've got to cover this section here where the tail lights go. I've got to fix it, I've got to replace it anyway, so I'm not really sure what I should be doing. All right, so the next port of call, we've got all the lights working properly now, is to make the horn work and all of our other safety features. Just wanted a quick mention. I've gone underneath the car and I've hit a lot of areas just like this, up under here, giving it a hit with a bit of CRC zinc black, or black zinc rust protection, just because when I pressure washed everything, it took a bit of the underbody deadening off. So I thought I'd better protect it again, better spray a bit of rust protection on there. So I reached for the CRC black zinc, and obviously I've still got a long way to go. So things like this will be refurbished, and I'll probably take the diff out and give that a good proper clean up, change the fluid and seal it all back up again. Probably want to change the shocks, and I'm going to try and change the springs today, but I just wanted to give everything a bit of a hit just to protect it from rust. I've gone all up in under the inner guards in the back and given it all a big hit with the CRC. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that we've got a horn, which we do. Once we know that it works, we're going to mount it up here, plug it into these plugs here. I believe they're the correct ones because there's none on this side, so that has to be them. Then we are going to go up and follow those wires back to the horn and make sure that that all works. But firstly, let's test this bad boy. So that's connected, tap this. We're cooking with gas. So let's plug this up, make sure that the wires connecting to the horn work, because when I got the car, no horn. Well, the horn works, and it also dawned on me that making videos about doing roadworthies are absolutely boring as. But we've got to get it done. Wipers are going to go on once the car's buffed. So are the side trims, they're going on once the car's buffed. The Venetians are in, still undecided about them. all the way around, front, well, side and rear. And the thing that was holding up the horn is there was this little black wire. It was connected in on, I think, the wrong side. There's 2 points, positive and negative. Earthing part is built into the horn button, so stuck it back on, all works. As you can see, on to the next job. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw in these king springs. I'll pull out the old ones, compare it to this one and see, hopefully they're lower. If they're not lower, what I'm going to do is keep those in, get it roadworthy to then pick a set and chop them. I want the back to go down around about another 30 odd mil, maybe 40 mil, just so it matches how low the front is. Also, I've found a set of wheels I want to get. I'm really, really keen on 18-inch wheels. I do not want to go 20s on this thing. 18s will be able to still keep the car quite low and nice looking and handling well with a decent sidewall on the tire, like a 40 or a 50 series side profile. Onto lowering. Well, this video would absolutely suck if we didn't do some mods. So what we're doing is we're replacing the spring in the back. We could probably do with replacing this guy as well, which I might look into doing that. But just for now, I'm going to throw these springs in. Now these ones have much thicker, heavier duty spring. So the coils are much fatter, meaning that they're harder. These ones, the king springs, super lows, not SSLs, which I may end up swapping out too if these ones don't sit low enough. But we've got this little progression down here, so much smaller, thinner, tighter coils, and these ones here are much further apart. So I think once the car's under load, these bottom ones are going to crush up and it's going to become much shorter than this spring once it's in there. So that's the theory behind it, and that's why you have these progressive springs. So once they're situated in the car and it's underweight, they become pretty much useless and they just compress. So I think we will be good. So I'm going to stick this in and see how it looks. All right, so that was really simple. Threw the spring in. It's just a matter of undoing this nut, pulling the shock off the bottom, and then letting the axle droop. And I had to sort of hang on a little bit like a monkey just to drop it down enough to get this in and out. Now I've put this on way too much load. As you can see here, it's just slightly lifted off the hoist, but trust me, it's all safe. But you can see here, these top coils, they've now compressed up. So it's taken up a lot more of that slack. So the spring, although it looked the same size, is actually probably about exactly where we want it as far as how low it goes. So I'm going to do the other side, chuck the wheels back on and put it on the ground. And yes, don't worry, I'm going to refurbish and clean all this up and make it look pretty nice. King springs fitted, and we are tucking just the tiniest little bit of tire, which I think is excellent. Once we go the 18s, the rim edge is going to be up to here, so it's going to look really nice and tidy. So these are 15, so 1.5 inches higher, should be on the outside of that white wall there. And I'm thinking about getting a rim to color match with the trims. Let me know what you think. I might need to buy new spring seat rubbers as well, because those ones looked a little bit shagged on this side, which is probably why it's a bit lower. Also chucked in the new aerial from Rare Spares, so got that in there. I think it looks sick, finishes off the guard. I fish oiled inside the guard whilst I had the guard liner out as well. So now everything has been fish oiled all the way around. I've got to find where my window washer squirters are, because I'm going to need those for the roadworthy. Can't wait till it's cut and buffed and we stick the badges on. We've got brand new badges. And I'm also going to look at getting some ceramic coat for it as well, once that's all been cut back. So yeah, we've done one mod. We've got plenty more ready to go. I've got intercoolers, I've got turbos. I actually do have 2 turbos for it, but we're going to only stick one on. Plenum, fuel rail, injectors, rods, pistons, race bearings. We've got the Haltech already. Got the Turbo Smart external wastegate. We've got the Turbo Smart electronic boost controller, which will all plug into the Haltech. We've got the wideband O2, flex fuel sensor, fuel pumps, all of that stuff I already have waiting until this is roadworthied and the engine comes back from the machine shop, so then I can build it. It's got cam, valves, retainers, the whole lot. We've got a big brake kit for the front, brake masters to change, boosters to change, and refurbish and refinish up the rear end. I've done all I can on the VL for now. I did go to Bunnings and I did grab some of this MDF stuff which they use to make the interior panels and door cards. So I'm gonna get to work after I finish this video, getting started on making the second video for you guys on trimming up the boot of the VL. Although I did order the carpet for the back from True Fit Carpets, they only sent me the front one. So I'm expecting Monday or Tuesday this week for those to come in. Then I can do a whole makeover of the boot unveil on the VL later on. What I'm going to do though just now is I've got to finish off running the catch can lines, so the oil breather lines and some vacuum lines here on my K24 swapped EK Civic sedan. This has been a long-term project on the channel. Started off stock, went to the track, turboed it, blew it up, built it, turboed it again with a forged motor, lifted the head, swapped that out for a K-Series, which was always the goal, just having a bit of fun with the D-Series. But I've gone and added a 3076 turbo and manifold and front mount and radiator and all the intercooler pipes, power steering's all been converted over, S2000 brake master, brake booster delete, and I've got currently, it looks like a bit of a bird nest in here with wires and stuff everywhere, but I've just stripped off all of the plastic and all of the sticky tape on the factory loom. So you can see down here that that's a nude loom. Getting ready to hand that over to an auto elect later on once I've got a bit more extra money. But just for now, to finish off this video, a little bit of diversity from the VL project. We'll be finishing off the hoses and the pipes on this one. Hope you enjoyed that little time lapse, but everything's done as far as the plumbing goes now, except for a radiator hose and a hose to my fuel pressure reg. Again, that's a Raceworks fuel pressure reg. And as you can see, love me some Raceworks stuff. I've got Raceworks on absolutely everything I possibly can. I do need to get some Raceworks fittings. I'm going to run a different, I think it's AN 16 or 20 out of there, and I'll angle this down and away because I can't actually get a hose clamp and the hose on there. It's too close to the eBay manifold, and I've got to customize the hoses anyway, so I'll do probably a 45 or something, or a 60 down, and then I'll use the rubber or the silicone hose, radiator hose, and then I'll use a bit of straight line in the middle to join it. It'll be fine. This is the highest point, and I'll make sure it doesn't go lower or anything, so definitely can bleed it out nice and simply. But we should all be good after that. It's just wiring and exhaust stuff left to go, but I really can't wait to get this beast ripping. It's going to be so goddamn fast. I've stripped out quite a bit out of the interior, so yeah, pretty much that's all I'm waiting on. The exhaust, which I might have a crack at myself, and the wiring, which I definitely won't have a crack at myself. But that'll be the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to spool up. Well, it kind of says spool up, but spool up, bring the boost, and we'll see you in the next video when I tackle the rest of the install for the boot of the VL. Hopefully by then I can have it roadworthy. Everything else works on it now. Hopefully they'll let me pass for Club Rego. And then it'll be on to building the Dirty 30 RB30 engine and ripping some boost into there. That's enough out of me. Catch you in the next one.